Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Kolo Yamla, Aranabi Yahweh, Bashim Shamalak Yahushai, Bashim Kakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone, peace, citation, hope for elect, Hapa Yahshua Malak, double da, the house of King David, into the fusion of faces that look like these heathen nations, but their identity goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the real who chose the seed line, Shalom. And the title of this video is going to be power outages around the world and dream I had. So call them Yabashim Shah 444. I saw in my time. But this is the lesson I want to get into, because as you can see, some brothers have been getting into this topic. So power outages happening in different countries and even in different states. There's even one that happened in 2019, like in the summer of 2019. And I can recall because I did see like during the night the power did went out and it was kind of restored in a couple hours. And it's funny because, and it really shows you that, a lot of these women that claim they don't need a man and all this and that and the third is saying they think they're independent, they don't need a man, but who's the one that gets the locks on the doors all the time? Who's the one locking up the door like a chicken with no head? And that's a woman. And who's the one so afraid when the lights go out? Is the woman. Yeah, because the first thing my mom did was, her first instinct was to come in my room. And, and when you look into it, like, a lot of these women are so fucking prideful because they have the government on their backs and stuff like that, and they act like everything they do is on their damn own. But they fail to realize that Esau is the one that's doing it. She's the one that's liberating you to be a fucking dumbass, but, and pushing you against your man. And, and it's crazy because my mom is like, she's pretty much against this truth. Yeah. And it's like, I keep telling her countless of times, every time she got my nerves, she get me tight. I keep telling her the truth. And I'm like, hey man, if you, pretty much the powers go out, don't be seeking the Lord when it's too fucking late, because you're not hearing his word right now. And then you cursing out his men, you cursing out the Lord, the Son, and the Father, and like you basically you're a triple threat, because you basically cursed all three out. Who the Lord is dealing with, and the Lord's Son, and most of all the Lord himself, Yahweh Bashim Yashar himself. She's going off. The Lord gonna judge her for that. But I don't want to get too much on a rant, but let's just get along with the topic. It says, what happens when there's a power outage? Power outages can happen quite often due to bad storms, freezing rain, or high winds. The damage to power lines and equipment are often the reason for the outage, but you can help prevent an outage by being prepared. This is the carnal, doomsday preparation for it. But we know through the spirit that the Most High really ain't dealing with, doomsday preppers, like, because hey man, all that stocking up food and water and and electricity, generators and all that other shit. Hey man, that could be for the next man that kill your dumbass, and or that could be for the men of the Lord, temporarily until they get better, basically substances from the Heavenly Father and better a place to live. And because they said in the end times we're going to be in increasing abundance, and I don't write this out. I'm part of those men doing his works, sincerity and all truth. So it says, by preparation for an outage, and this is like a real short article, so came out 2018 March 31st. Preparation for an outage. To prepare your home for a potential power outage, you can have on hand small non-electric stove, such as a propane camping stove or portable propane heater. And you expect these Edomites and these other heathens to know more of these things than Jake, because one thing about Jake is that Jake is so fucking stupid. They don't really go into like learning how to be useful, especially these Eves. They don't know how to do these things like these heathens do. These heathens, they're more prepared of doomsday prepping than Jake is, especially Esau. So Jake doesn't really know how to do these things. Jake is so used to using Uber Eats, Grubhub, Seamless, and using all these other apps to basically give them food service. And Jake is so used to basically ordering food online and shit like that. And throwing things in the toaster oven, throwing things in the microwave. Jake is just used to that shit. And even these Eves, a lot of them can't cook and they can't provide to the table anything valuable, but they're and I wouldn't even say their stinking dirty ass body that they can't even clean right is valuable, because even that is polluted, because how much men got up inside them. But it says these are not dependent on any electrical charge and can function alone. If you have a wood burning fireplace, be sure to have a chimney clean every fall to eliminate buildup to prevent a chimney fire. Before using an emergency generator, propane stoves, or heaters during a power outage, ensure proper operating procedures are followed, as these devices emit carbon dioxide, which can cause severe health problems. And during an outage, be sure to the outage has affected more than just your home. If your neighbor's power is still on, check your circuit breaker or fuse box to fix the issue. Contact the utility, not your retail's energy supplier. They don't have control over power outages or repairs. Turn off appliances, electric equipment, and turn the thermostat down to a minimum to prevent a power surge from occurring when the power does restore. Try not to open your freezer or fridge unless necessary. The freezer will keep food frozen from 24 hours to 36 hours if the door remains closed. Following these simple guidelines and it can ensure your safety to prepare and safe during a power outage. And sometimes there could be a power outage not only for let's say for a few days or whatever. It could be for a few weeks, and yeah, you need a refrigerator to basically store your food and to keep your food under a cold temperature to keep it lasting longer. Your food could spoil quick, so even if you are stocking food, you need power, and energy to basically to store your food in under a certain temperature so it can last longer. Like meat, uh, you know, sometimes you could put your fruits and vegetables in there, and other type of valuables like milk, juice, and soda. But for the most part, I'll say milk is mainly important to be refrigerated. Cheese, you know, sometimes bread. Yeah, and some of these things, like if you leave it outside the fridge, you know, it will expire quickly and become spoiled or rotten. Yeah, and it will mold up quickly. And that's the thing, um, a lot of the times these people don't understand, you know, just doomsday prepping, and stuff like that. Carnally stocking up on these things, it's not gonna really save you. That's why you gotta, believe in this truth and come into this truth while you can. And I found that it's kind of funny. It says, dependent, can you poop when the power is out? It says, depending on the amount of water remaining in your pipes, you might be able to flush your toilet several times while the power is out. Eventually, however, your tank won't fill up anymore because the pumps are down. When this happens, you will need to flush your toilet manually by pouring in a bucket of water. And, and it kind of reminds me of what you call it, when the Most High, when He calls the basically when He um and during those times, we didn't really have advanced technologies we did do now. So, back in those times, they'll probably use maybe candles of light or whatever inside the back in the time of actual Egypt, ancient Egypt, you know. So they obviously they wouldn't have had the lamps and stuff as we had and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, there was a time where when the Most High caused a darkness to go in the land of Egypt, and the Wisdom of Solomon 17 goes deep into that, you know, and when the Most High was causing like monstrous apparitions, which were like demons, to basically take over the land and to pretty much plague the land. So the Lord was really causing a darkness to go over there for a couple of days or stuff like that, and they said that they had to use the bathroom on themselves, so they couldn't even leave their room because they were basically and they were hiding by the corner of the wall. It was so terrifying, the stuff that they saw, you know, and it's crazy because I was having a dream about this shit too, this. And the thing is that I was watching I think one of the apostles live stream or something like that, but I was sleeping. It was it happened yesterday. I think it was yesterday morning, or if I'm not mistaken, like probably 2 days ago in the morning, when I had to go to the for my doctor's appointment to check up on my leg, on my knee. So they had a so I had a dream, right? And I felt like, out of my family, like, mainly me and my brother, my younger brother that believe in this truth, like we was protected, you know. We heard, but we looked outside the window, we saw people bugged out their minds. I was looking out the window mainly. I didn't know about my little brother, but he probably did the same thing, knowing him. He was like, he was looking out the window, and for the most part, I saw people like I could see through because the Lord pretty much gave me the vision to see through it, you know, and to be able to be comforted, and kind of gave me some light, you know. But the rest of these people, they were outside during the power outages, you know, and when the Most High casted the darkness around the land and stuff like that, they were basically being bugged out by demons and being scared, you know. And it was like really crazy because I was like, wow, the Lord really did me a favor coming in this thing, coming in this truth. And I was sleeping and I was like, just thinking about it, I was like, wow, that's a real spiritual dream, I could have been one of those people that I'm looking outside the window like, damn. I'd even laugh. I was like, shit. I said, wow. I can only imagine the people that did me wrong. How much more is the Most High cursing them? How much more is the Most High, plaguing them, with their fears, and it's just really crazy because the Lord really, He's really not to be messed with, you know. And we always keep saying countless of times, they're gonna learn these people. They're gonna learn fear through the Heavenly Father's men. The same men that you call bums on the street, the same men that you like making fun of and that you don't want to hearken unto. Well, guess what, assholes, y'all gotta learn in that day when the Most High plague ass, he gonna show you. And these same men that you make fun of, they're gonna be the ones. We're gonna be the ones to laugh too. Because I guess if you calling those men bums, you calling me a bum too. Because I fit myself in the same category as them. Lord willing, like, for me being humble in this thing, you know. So, because the world looks at us as fools, but we're righteous fools because if anything, the world is they're gonna be foolish. So, and that's the point in the story, But I want to also get into like how power outages like it's happening around the world and shit like that too. So it says like heat waves cause power outages in a way where it says heat waves themselves don't cause the power outage. Instead, increased electricity consumption combined with the high temperatures can lead to power outages. So eventually, like, the electric wires, like, it may be too, like when you see a phone that gets too hot and it's like they tell you that from charging it, and it's like and usually that really happens in the summer, when your phone gets so hot, or when you're in a hot environment, and usually in the summer it heats up, a lot of environments. So it says like, so it will be like, what you call it? You would try to charge your phone, and it's so hot outside, and the sun is blazing, and then the temperatures are high, and it's like you have to cool down your phone. It feels so damn hot. It's like you want to put your phone in the refrigerator, but obviously that's gonna mess up your phone, so you don't want to do that. So instead, you get a fan to like, to blow the wind on the phone and shit like that. Put it in a cool dry, put it in a cool space. And you want to give it some time off to like, to cool off. Your phone gets so hot, it's like your phone shut off on you, and it tells you that it's overheated, And that's the thing with technology. Technology overheats. Technology gets too cold. People don't really understand technology's Esau is like, that's his false miracle, and that's what the Most High gave Esau on the left hand side is the technology, and that's the same thing that happens with with electric what you call it, cords and cables and stuff like that. They get hot too, especially out in the street that supply power, and the high temperatures can cause the power outage, and even in the cold. I'm about to show you that right now. So it says, the short answer is yes. Cold weather can be the reason for a power outage. There are many reasons that can cause a power outage in the winter months. One reason is because cold days, the electric heaters are turned up throughout the electric system, which can cause an equipment overload. So it says storms, wind, heat, ice, and snow are the most common causes of widespread power outages. Trees during high winds or trimming by an untrained professional, limbs can come in contact with power lines and cause interruption. So, the winter itself can cause, power outages. So it says intense gust force winds warnings in 8 states caused power outages for hundreds of thousands in January 14, 2021. At the time of reporting, at least 33,049 Idahoans, 14,665 Montanans, 20,686 Oregonians, and 125,510 Washingtonians were out of power, according to data from Power Outage US. Washington winds reached speeds of up to 70 miles per hour, blowing over a tractor trailer on the Deception Pass Bridge. So even wind could cause power outages too. It's crazy. Nature could really cause power outages. It says already swollen from rainstorms, several rivers began overflowing. The community of Dodson was told to evacuate after the National Weather Service issued a flash flood warning. More than 500,000 people lost power in the Pacific Northwest, according to Associated Press. And it could just be very well that these elites, they since they try to control weather, they try to do these things, right? And it's like they doing this to so they could put, when they push their microchip and stuff like that, that's how they're gonna get everybody to comply, So because we know these elites, they're behind sometimes, like, for the most part, they're behind weather control, with the HARP and the DARPA, and they the ones that control the powers grids and stuff like that. They control, like, the power companies, like, mainly Con Edison, and we know that asshole Thomas Edison, they claim that he was the one that made the light bulb, and they say it was Nikola Tesla, but even though, like, it was actually supposed to be, I think it was a so-called black man that actually came up with the light bulb invention. But the crazy thing is, they just want to say it was Thomas Edison because he found a way to try to track people and making, like, to track how much energy they use so that you could charge them for it. So it's like, that's why they be, you got to pay for your light bill in the city, and it's like hundreds of dollars and shit like that. Upstate is cheaper. Like, when you're upstate New York, your light bill is cheaper. But then in the cities, like, they charge you like a matter, they charge you so much. It's crazy. And it's like, it's gonna come to a point in time where, and when it's coming to, like, Jake and stuff like that, you talk a lot of shit about paying bills, this and that. But when a power outage hits, all that fucking prideful bill paying bitches that, mainly, our woman talking shit about, like, oh, they paid, oh, oh, you pay bills, or you do this and that and the third and shit like that. Very soon, we're gonna see where your fucking pride at when the Most High causes power outage to hit, because everything is up to the Lord, When it looks like Esau is doing these things, it's the Most High stirring up his spirit to do so, In the end of the day, even if Esau does it, in the end of the day, the Most High got his men protected. As long as we stay in his faith, as long as we stay in the truth and sincerity and honesty, he got us, the Most High. So Esau, it may look like he's doing his own thing, but it's the Most High controlling him. And that's how the world will look at it. The world will look at it like Esau does everything on his own, The whole world won't even know the term Esau like that, like how we know it, So. And they even mentioned a white supremacist planned attack on U.S. power grid connected to the Trump election. FBI, an FBI affidavit says, and a named group planned a power outage in southern eastern U.S. I'm not going to go too much in the article, but if that's what it is, where you got supremacist groups that's going to go and try to, like, cause power outages, it's mostly of the these elites' plans anyway, because that's how they want to control the people. And like I've been saying, in some of my other videos, that there's actually ways of having free energy and shit like that. And these elites, like, what they do is they, they try to get those people assassinated, through these rich people that have, their power companies. They try to get, like, the owners of the power companies. They'll try to get people like that assassinated. They come up with an invention that could give, people free energy, like, free electricity supplying with just using water, or with using, like, wind, or the the ground itself, or which is like, the earth, and then using the solar cell panels, like, and there was a there have been inventions like that, but like I said, these elites, they're wicked, and Esau's a devil. He wants to charge you for every single thing, every single piece of technology, that every bit of energy that you use. He want to charge you for it, and track it. And it says in Isaiah 60th chapter, verse 2, for behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall rise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and kings to the brightness of thy rising. Lift up thy eyes right about, and see, all they gather themselves together. They come to thee. Thy sons shall come from afar, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side. And then when you look into, like, verse 2 mainly, it's talking about, like, you know, the darkness shall cover the earth. So the same plagues the Most High put upon ancient Egypt is gonna be, he's gonna increase that, he's gonna multiply that, that curse that he put upon Egypt, since they didn't want to let the Israelites go. And a lot of, and since they don't want to let our people go, they want to push the new world order so that they could go along with their bullshit plans. Guess what? It's not gonna work, Esau. The Most High just gonna plague you. And it's kind of what you call it. I remember that episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog, where it shows you that, when he said, where there was this ghost like figure that was basically saying, "Return the slab, return the slab," you know. And then there was curses like in ancient Egypt that happened in that house where Courage the Cowardly Dog was living in, because Eustace didn't want to, that's the old man's name, where he didn't want to return the slab, and and because you don't want to make the Israelites free, since you don't want to free us and give us the stuff that you owe us, guess what? You know, the Most High is gonna curse you just like that. You know, since you want to be stubborn, Esau, you're gonna get cursed. And that's what the Most High finna do. He finna put darkness upon you. He finna, and since you people, y'all wanna be acting like y'all blind to this truth, y'all wanna be, y'all wanna be in darkness willingly. Hey, this is what the Most High finna do. Since y'all wanna be in darkness spiritually, the Most High is gonna physically manifest that darkness upon you, stupid ass niggas. And all the heathens, y'all, the Most High ain't, made you to get it, but you 2/3, even y'all were supposed to get it, but even then, the Most High ain't really choose you, because, He chose you to be an Israelite, yeah, but for the most part, y'all weren't chosen for salvation. So because of all the wickedness y'all did to the prophets, and what y'all did to Yahushua ultimately, which is the ultimate prophet y'all crucified, you know, since y'all want to basically be in darkness willingly, and I'm talking about mentally, then you're gonna be in darkness physically, and the Most High is gonna summon all your fears upon you. You know, that's what the scripture says. So it says in Ephesians the 5th chapter verse 8, for ye were sometimes darkness, but now are ye light in the Lord. Walk as children of light, for the fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness and righteousness and truth, proving what is acceptable unto the Lord, and have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. Exactly. For it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret. But all things that are reproved are made manifest by the light, for whatsoever doth make manifest is light. Wherefore he saith, awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Hamashiach shall give thee light. And that's the thing, the Most High, Yahushua, he was the light of this world. The Most High's son, Yahushua, was the light of this world, and he gave his son, that light, you know, and then his son, along with his disciples, his disciples had the light too. And it's like he gave us, when he gave his men the elect, which are the followers of this truth, the Holy Spirit, that's what giving us light to understand and be able to see, that he gave us that spiritual eyesight as well to basically see through the darkness, which is like the darkness will represent like the false philosophies, or basically a whole bunch of this BS that's in this world that's not of this truth. So for everyone that's against this truth is in darkness. That's why the Lord said, that he mentioned that this world, they hate light and they like the darkness. He mentioned that. And the funny thing is, the Most High going to have to make that physical darkness manifest amongst them. And he's going to open up the fourth dimension while he does that at the same time. So when you look at it right here in John, on the 3rd chapter, verse 19, it says, and this is the condemnation, that light is come into the world, and men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved. Exactly. One of those fucking deeds is going to be the Most High going to manifest that fucking darkness in front of you stupid ass niggas that hate this truth. That since y'all hate light, well, guess what? The Most High going to cast the darkness upon you, Especially when power grids go out. You think because you have electric generators, and good luck finding one, good luck buying that, because that shit costs a band, And we already know you stupid ass Jakes, especially you stupid ass Eves, even though, y'all making money and stuff like that, and probably like, like credit card scamming and all this other shit, that the wickedness that y'all do amongst each other, you know. You think y'all not gonna really save up your money and buy these things like Esau is doing? You got these heathens that's actually storing their, buying these things, preparing for these end times to learn how to cook food without electrical appliances. They're gonna be the ones to know how to do these things, and that's the thing between Esau and Jake, and even if you include these other heathens as well. The thing about but mainly Esau and Jake is that the difference is that Esau he prepares for these things. He's preparing for these end times, and a lot of Edomites actually know that America, even Edomite pastors, even know that America is Babylon the Great. You have some Edomite pastors that on the history, they will be on what you call it. Some of them will be on YouTube, and some of them will be on History Channel, right? Actually breaking down the even though some of the breakdowns that they do, let's say when they talk about the beast, is wrong, but on the most part, they're on point when it's talking about what you call it. They may not understand, the Bible lingo as the Israelites do. They may not, as we do in the truth, but they may not understand like certain doctrines and stuff like that. Well, a lot of doctrines they may not understand, but for the most part, they understand this is Babylon the Great, America, and they understand that it's gonna be, this is gonna be a cataclysmic time period, roughly paraphrase of Jacob's trouble, Jeremiah 36 all the way down to verse 7, and and it's gonna be in 2 Ezra 15 to 16, and this is gonna be a time period where it has never been like any time period before it, and this is gonna, and the thing about Jake is that Jake don't really look into these things as Esau's looking into it, like, because Esau knows that there's going to be a post-apocalyptic time period. You got middle-class Edomites, and obviously the rich ones, they're beyond, prepping, and they already got their bunkers and stuff. You even have the poor Edomites and the middle-class ones working on having their own bunkers, even though their bunkers look a little, they don't look as luxurious as the millionaires and billionaires, but they still got some form of protection. They got the guns and the knives and weapons and sword, they got their, their blessings, and they're gonna be fighting. They're gonna be fighting each other. And then any of you stupid ass Jake, since y'all want to love the so-called white man so much, let's see how much of a hero he's gonna be to you dumbasses. Since y'all want to trust in Esau and trust in his government, let's see how much they're gonna protect you in these end times with their power generators that they're gonna be using for their families. And even then, their own family's gonna turn against them and fight against each other and cannibalize each other eventually when the food run out. So, and you stupid ass Jakes that don't want to hearken unto this word, hey man, well, you think Esau gonna care for you in that day? These other heathens, they have their own families. So, even then, scriptures say that their friends and families, they're gonna turn against each other, and they're gonna be cannibalizing each other. And it says verse 21, but he that doeth truth cometh to the light, that his deeds may be made manifest, that they are wrought in Yahweh. Exactly. So, there's two type of deeds, good deeds and wicked deeds, And in this truth, this is a good deed. But when you in the world doing your own, bullshit, that's a wicked deed. One thing is like, they would say a deed is an act, or yeah. So pretty much like, the Most High has his acts too, and when he, you know, plagues this country, he plagues this, this world. It's gonna be happening all around the world, and his men are gonna be protected, because they have hearkened unto this word. And I don't want Ratazan part of those men. That'll be a good thing. And it says Ecclesiasticus 17 and verse 26. Turn again to the Most High, and turn away from iniquity. He will lead thee out of darkness into the light of health, and hate thou abomination vehemently. So yeah, the Most High, he's gonna turn you into this truth. Well, if you turn unto the Most High, man, he will turn away from your, and you turn away from iniquity. He's gonna lead you out of the darkness, out of this world, out of the wickedness of this earth, and he's gonna lead you into the light of health, which is this truth. And it is for your mental health too. This truth. Teaching about the dietary laws, learning that and following after it, and that's actually good. And there's other laws too that we try to follow. We can't follow all the laws, so we gotta follow the ones that we can. So, and that's what we have to do. It says in 2 Ezra 6:24, at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Exactly. And when you realize this, you're gonna understand that people in these end time, they're gonna be fighting against each other, fighting against their families, even friends, best friends that, the neighbor that you say hi to, he's gonna be trying to kill you in that day, you know, and and this is all of Esau's plans, He don't care about the people. He look at you people as cattle, There's a term they call us, which is goyim. They don't care about you. And if anything, they got the nerve to say that because they're trying to call us like the heathens, They even looking at their own people, which are, other Edomites, as goyim as well, which are the other Edomites that's under Amalek, right? Because Amalek is he's the head tribe of Edom, Amalek. So they're the chief nation of Edom, the chief tribe. And they look at the other Edomites as heathens. And they like Germans, or and so on and so forth. They're against their own people. And what I'm mainly trying to say is that they don't look at us as normal people. So they want to basically look at us as like we're servants for their new world order, So, and it tells you in Second Ezra chapter 15, and I'll get at verse 19. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And power outages are going to cause the lack of bread to basically be, you're going to have storehouses being empty. As it says in 2 Ezra 6 chapter, they're going to be empty. People are going to be robbing storehouses and stuff, and, they're going to be going crazy, And how most people get their food. They can't, most people can't even grow their food like how we were able to grow our food back a couple of years ago, like talking about like in the 1900s and so on and so forth. But now over time, Esau has been pushing most of the people they're taking away the middle class, pushing people further and further into the slums, you know. So it's really hard to like pretty much to be able to profit, like to be able to like make food and your own food and shit like that. And they're even trying to make that shit illegal, you know, because they want to control every bit of your substance. But I hope I made the lesson edifying. With that, I'd like to give all glory and praise and honor to Adonai Yahweh, Bashem Shamalak Yahweh Bashem Kakadash, the honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone, peace, citation, hope for elect. Yahbashim Yashar, Shalak Koream, Adawamyam, Wa Goayam, Wa Abarabo, Shalom.